Hello, how's it going? The name's Los. Um, I have a story to tell y'all. So, basically, 2 weeks ago, I was playing soccer, and I just started playing soccer. This is like my third game, maybe practice like twice because my schedule at work it interferes with it heavily. And when I just started playing, I always played like basketball, football back in the day, had no problems. But soccer, it's a hard game to play. But on that day, we got two games we play. We play one game at 12 and then another game at 1. So they're our games. And the second game, we're playing this team called Phenom. And Phenom, you know who you are. They had like, during that time, they were 4-0 and they had like 17 goals. Those guys are crazy. Like, so I'm like freaking out, like, oh my god, this team is so good, and they were like, they actually beat us that game. But what happened that game was, I'm out there on the field, I'm trying to work my hardest against this team, and I'm going back and forth, and before I knew it, when I was running really hard, I just feel this pop, and like for a split second I see red, and then I see like four circles just for like a split second. And right after that, I couldn't use my foot. Like it hurt a little bit when I try to walk on it. And so I immediately get off the field, and I'm like, what's going on, in my head? And people are like, oh, you okay? Maybe it's a cramp or whatever. And I'm like, man, I hope so. And I always like played sports like in the streets. I never like played professionally. Never had to go to a doctor. Usually, if I get hit hard, I just walk it off. But this injury was different, very different. And so I had to work later that day. So after the game, I went to work, and Simon and Mike were there. And Mike, he has his medical license at the job, and he was able to bandage me up and give me some ice before he left. And then when he left, I started immediately just researching. And when I was researching, and I know online when you research, like you can't believe everything you see online, but because you might get like you'll get the worst case scenario, and it reminds me of that meme with the kid that's like when you diagnose yourself online and you find out you have 6 months to live. Yeah, that's it's not like that, but it was up there, you know. So I'm diagnosing myself online, and I'm like, what is a pop? What does that mean? And then I look it up, and it says that I might have torn my Achilles tendon, and immediately, I start like getting depressed. Like, I hope not. I hope it's that cramp, right? And so everyone's like, hey, you should go to urgent care, get that looked at. I was like, all right, bet I'll go. I'm in Fayetteville at the time, and I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to go to any urgent care or hospital in Fayetteville. So I live near Taylortown, which is near Aberdeen and Pinehurst. I go up there, have to wait for a doctor for like an hour or two, and the doctor comes in and he does this test online. It's called the Thompson test, and basically what they do is they lay you on your stomach, and they take your calf and they squeeze it. And when your calf squeezes, your foot is supposed to move along with it. Um, so he did that with my left leg, and nothing was moving. And I could tell in his face he was definitely concerned, and like I like maybe devastated. And I could just tell in his face, and I'm just like, "You think I need surgery?" And he's like, I don't know, but it looks like your tendon's torn." And I'm like, I'm really hoping not. But he decides to take an X-ray, and with the X-rays, you can only see the bone. So there weren't any broken bones, but unfortunately, I couldn't see the tendon. So he referred me to a surgeon. And so he was like, yeah, Monday, Tuesday, they should call you. And so I'm like, all right, bet. And so I wait Monday, Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. And so I'm like, man, should I call these guys? And I was like, nah, let me just wait and see. And then Thursday comes and they happen to call and set up an appointment for Thursday. For Monday. And so I'm like, okay. And so on Monday, I go to the surgeon, and he does the same thing the doctor does at urgent care, and does like the Thompson test, and he's like, yeah, you need surgery. And so like, I'm not like freaking out, but I'm like definitely concerned because this is going to be my first surgery, and I've never been put down with anesthesia before. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go, you know? So they set me up for surgery um, for within another week. So today is Sunday, and this is literally pre-surgery. I have surgery on the 23rd, Monday. So I'm just documenting this pre-surgery um, to let you all know like how it all goes. Um, in the meantime, like while I'm waiting, I happen to like get these like intrusive thoughts, like what happens if I'm not, you know, able to play again and that kind of stuff, or am I able to walk again? What am I gonna do during this time down? You know, all this like negative stuff, and I think like it's rightfully so. You know, like you're gonna get those thoughts. Um, but I didn't want to like sulk in it for like any time at all. And so I try to like stay positive during that time. Like, okay, I got to utilize my time wisely while I'm while I'm down, and so I'm like looking online, and there's actually videos on YouTube of people that's gone through the same process, and they document their journey. And this guy, the professor, I just happened to come across this video, and his tendon was tore 3 years ago, and he documented his whole recovery process, and it took like to fully recover and make sure everything is okay. It took like about a year in order for that to for him to be able to play again. And then same thing happened to a basketball player that played overseas, and he had to come back to America, have surgery, and he did the same thing. He had to have physical therapy, and within a year he was back overseas playing again, got another contract. And so that gives me hope that like, hey man, I just got to trust the process, trust the surgeon, trust the healing process, do the physical therapy, and everything's going to be all right for my foot. So yeah, that's it's just going to take a long time. I know that people, they like, even me, I want to like get back out there, get back playing as fast as possible, but I think I'm going to take the right time to make sure that my foot heals properly, because I don't want any problems in the future. So I'm just gonna try to put it in God's hands. And one other thing, this might be a little weird to think about, but I'm trying to think of it like this is a blessing in a way, because I've always been saying that I want to read the Bible and get closer to God, and I just wasn't doing that. And so since I've been, for the past 2 weeks, just I've been in a boot right now. I can't really put any pressure on it. I've been reading more of the Word, and one of the questions that I always had was like, how do I get the Holy Spirit? How do I know that that's Him? How do I understand the Holy Spirit? And I started reading in Acts, and then went to Romans, and then First Corinthians, and then I just got done with Second Corinthians today. And literally all my questions were answered right there. So yeah, all I had to do was really read the Bible. So I think like God's trying to, wake me up and get me closer to Him, like I've been wanting. So I'm going to use that opportunity, you know, to start with Him, start with reading the Word, and then utilize my time wisely instead of playing games, being on the phone all day, watching TV. I'm going to see if I could, maybe start a YouTube channel, um, do mixing with music, do all kinds of things. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, and this is the perfect opportunity to do that. So I'm going to start doing that and just see what happens. And yeah, so just want to thank you all for listening. I'm going to be documenting this journey. So eventually, after the process, because I believe everything's going to, work out, I'll be fully healed, and all by the grace of God. And that I'm going to come out like stronger than ever after this. So I'm going to document this. I'm going to, do it on a weekly basis. So maybe like after the fact, it will help somebody in the future. So yeah, just pray for me, and I pray that God blesses you, God protects you, and God takes care of you, and everything's going to be all right here. Yes, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you all take care.